What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I really want to say thank you guys because we just hit 250 subs and I am very grateful and thankful for all of you guys, and thanks for sticking around for all of our content or progress. Today we're going to work on something a little different. We're actually going to work on our daily, and that's because I've had something for this car that I've wanted for a very long time. To me, it's one of the best aero mods you can do to a car with a little bit of extra kick. That would just so happen to be, we have got us a set of blue carbon Ganadors for our Z. These things are absolutely insane. We're not going to hook them up completely today. We're actually taking a trip up to see Mike in a couple days, probably tomorrow, now that I think about it, which is why I'm throwing these on. I've been wanting a reason to put them on for quite some time, and what better reason than some potential pictures? I think we should put them on now, at least just to see what they look like and see what they're all about. We're not going to wire up the power mirror part where they fold or adjust. All we're going to do is we're going to take these off and we're going to mount them to the car so we just have the aesthetic look. Also, because this has been driving me insane since I've been driving this car, literally all you have to do is slide it up into this little rubber piece, and whoever had this off to paint just put it on. We also have some rear speaker boxes that we need to install because this actually doesn't have any at all, and I want more music, so to speak. So we're going to possibly show you guys how to bypass the factory amps on the Bose speakers or speaker sets. Actually, I do have to do that, so we will show you guys how. First step here for installing our Ganadors, you want to remove your door panel. You've got to remove your door panel because you have to get access to a third bolt that's right here behind this piece, which is the lower bolt to your mirror. You also have your wiring harness that goes down and up through right above your speaker mount plate. So we have to disconnect that and snake it through so we can actually remove the whole mirror assembly. Now, to remove your door panel, it's pretty simple. Not many tools you need. Pretty much you need a 10 mil flathead Phillips, a magnet, and a 14. My first step is always to pull this off, and I'll take my screwdriver and I will pop this off, and make sure you set everything somewhere that you're not going to lose it. Once you have access here with this off, there is a screw right above the seatbelt mount bolt, and that's the Phillips screw that you're wanting to remove. That will take this trim piece off, so you can, or at least it will unsecure it so you can remove it. I also like to bring a magnet just so we can grab the screw. Now we know we're not going to drop it down in the door because we secured it with a magnet. That happens way more often than not. Now we're going to take a 14 mil, remove our seatbelt bolt. Now that our upper part's off, this panel here is held in by a clip right here. Mine was actually not held in, and it was just hanging there. Someone didn't know how to do it right. This is why you need a 10 mil. This bracket here secures your door panel. A lot of people will tear it off not knowing that this piece needs to come off, and they will rip this mount off the door panel. Over here, remove this screw, this screw, this screw. Got 2 screws on each side down here, and you also have 2 screws down here. Usually there's a little plastic piece that's covering those. Remove each of those, and also remove this trim piece behind your door handle. You have 2 more Phillips bolts right here, or Phillips screws. Then this should come off. So we're going to remove each of those and show you how to pull the door panel off. Now that all the hardware is done, there are clips on the bottom side of the door panel, just like that. And just slowly pop all of them off on the bottom side. I think there's about 6 going from the bottom up to right here. Once you have that popped off, pull your seatbelt out, feed this through, and same thing down here. You'll be able to just lift it off of this. All you have to do is lift the door panel up. Actually, I just seen there is a screw right here. However, someone left it when they put the panel on, so it's not needed. Here, you just lift up on the door panel, just like that, and you'll slowly lift and pull it away from the door. Oh, there's also a clip here up top. That's why the door wasn't coming off. Lift it up, And now our panel's off. We're gonna get all the sound deadening unstuck from the side and remove the panel all the way. So now that the door panels are off, this is the connector that I was speaking of. This connector goes through and it is connected to our rear view mirror. Just disconnect it, and then this little piece is held on by like a pull tab, but we actually managed to pull the clip out, so we'll just pull the whole connector out in itself. Pull this off. Now you have access to your 3 bolts for your mirror. Now we've got all of our bolts removed. Let's remove our mirror. Just kind of wiggle it outwards. You can see it literally just slides out. It's as easy as that to remove the mirror from your Nissan 300ZX. And welcome to the Ganadors. And there are the Ganadors. Holy cow, these mirrors look absolutely gnarly. Got that blue carbon. Sheesh. These things go too hard. I don't care who you are. Obviously they're not everyone's thing, but these Ganadors look amazing. Stock mirrors on these look great, but wow, I cannot believe how much this can just change the entire car. It gives it so much personality just by putting something so honestly worthless on. I've got nearly $2 grand into these things purely just for what they are. Yeah, it's a little rough to say that, but man, these things are sick. Now that we know what to expect from these bad boys, let's go ahead and throw our door panel back on so we can get the other side finished out. Honestly, I want to go grab some food, so I would like to get at least the mirrors done and get our rear speakers in. Now we've got our door panel on. So that literally took all but 5 minutes. It's very easy, very straightforward. Now we're going to go do the same thing for the passenger side. We're going to get this Ganador installed over here. Instead of making you wait, we'll give you a little bit of the good treatment. Here we go. We officially got our full set of Ganadors installed. Now let's take our microfiber, give it a nice little rub down. Sweet. Wow, man, that looks good. That's still so strange how something so little can make such a difference on a car. Wow. Well, enough of this amazement chit chat. Let's get into the back of our car here and let's see what we can do about pulling both of these and getting access to our speaker boxes, which aren't really there, but we're going to put them there. Here we've got the 2 of our speaker boxes that are for a 2+2, as the sticker says, but it's very hard to read. But we're going to fit these in the car. Now that the center panel's off, you'll remove this. You'll have a screw here, a stud down here with a 10mm nut, screw, and another 10mm. Then these will come out. I also seem to not notice there is a 10mm nut right down here too. Now to remove your shock tower cover, you have this bolt, or this screw, that 10mm nut you just took off, another screw, and one more right there. You will also have one right here. Once you have all of them removed, you can pull your shock tower cover out. 10mm nut right there and right there below the seat. Then it should definitely come out. I may just try to sneak this bracket in here like this instead of removing those 2 bolts or nuts, because that will actually make this much more difficult and much more time consuming at that. We've got the music working now. It's obviously not going to be super loud back here because it's in the back, but we've got music. There's actually 4 wires here in this harness. You got these black and blue ones that are running to the amplifier in here. Then you have these 2 signal wires that run to the amplifier. You can chop the 2 signal wires, with the black being the ground and the white being the power, connect them up without running it through this box because it runs to the amplifier. And without the amplifier in line, you actually get sound from your speakers. This is how you bypass the factory Bose system. So we're going to secure our bracket in here so it doesn't move. We're going to try to seat our speaker, get it mounted in the box with a good connection, and we'll move on to the other side. We've just screwed it in with an actual wood screw, and we have the wiring harness just coming out from under the speaker instead of making a notch back here, just so I don't have to extend wires. This is all just a temporary fix so I can get some music in the back to kind of help the sound. Let's put it all back together and get to pulling this side off. This isn't going to get done today. Reason being, I've since discovered I can't find the connector for the audio anywhere. It must be tucked down behind this little panel for the back seats, and with them 2 bolts behind the seat, I'm really not trying to move them right now just to pull this out to put a speaker in. I guess I'm cool with 3 speakers for now. It's going to help a little bit, especially being behind my head. So we're going to put all this back together, and we're going to head and grab a bite to eat. Now, let's go grab some food at one of our favorites. This may not be the best one to show you guys. It's got the spicy tartar. This one's my favorite. Fried pickles. Can't forget that. What we're going to start with today is we're going to take our bumper off so we can switch out our bash bar, crash bar, whatever. I'm not a fan of this bumper. For some reason, it doesn't fit right at all. Not only do I hate this, but it just looks like crap. Especially here and here. When I had my factory twin turbo bumper on it, it looked much better. And I actually think we're going to switch those back out. We're actually about to rob these seats out for someone for our little care pack delivery tomorrow. So to pull the front bumper on a Z, usually I think there's like 30 fasteners between both fenders being held on, fender liners, the lower splash guard or air duct, and the upper bar. All I use is 1 bolt back here. I put a nut on each of the studs here, and I have the bash bar, or not the bar, but I have the bumper support bar. I have the 2 bolts here on each side, and it's the same on both sides. Bumper's off. Now it's time to swap it out. So we've got all the same mounting points here for this bumper, so we're going to go ahead and pull it off now. Now that the front bumper's off, we're going to get to removing this bash bar. To do that, there's 3 12mm bolts right here on the frame rail. You'll remove that, and these will slide right out all in one assembly. And we're just going to change this whole thing with this whole thing. With the old and with the new. Well, that's strange. This is slightly misaligned, so I don't know. I'm going to try out another one just in case for whatever reason this one's damaged. So here's the one that's off the blue or yellow car here. Let's check if it fits. One side in, other side in. That leaves me to believe this is bent for some reason. I don't see any impact marks on this. All the flanges are straight. I think we may have lucked out. I was really afraid for a minute that our frame rails were crooked and that we actually had a more significant front end collision sometime in this car's previous life, or previous history I should say. Fit it all the way up in there. Now bolt it down. Change our fog light housings so we get rid of that nasty ugly blue. Take that back. That's what it did look like. That's what it looks like now. Just took some brake cleaner, sprayed it in there to let it soak up on the paint, and we took a rag to wipe it all off. Works for me. Alright, I'm cool with that. Now I know 100% there's no way you're going to see any blue around here. It's as easy as 3 nuts on the back. Don't put it on too tight, just get it snug. You don't want to have too much pressure in between here and potentially crack either of your housings from there being too much pressure. 1 fog light down, 1 to go. Now we've got our little air guard on. Let's get to installing the bumper now. Now the bumper's on, everything's secured. We've actually been putting in some work to get everything else ready for our trip up to Chicago tomorrow. And we'll let's just show you if you can even see it is. Yeah, you can't really see. We've got a whole seat, 2 seats, because this seat's going as well, the passenger. Whole bunch of parts, lock set, dash, T-top shade, and a couple other miscellaneous things. But we're about all packed up. We're all swept up. Only thing we got to do is clean the car tomorrow. Oh, holy crap, I just remembered we got to fit these 2 seats in there too. I'm glad I seen them. Even though they're huge, it's kind of hard to miss. But after we get those in, we're all settled for tonight, good for tomorrow. So we'll catch you then. What's up, you guys? So it's the next morning and we're about to start making our way up to Chicago. You see we are pretty loaded up. Got a whole dash, front, rear seats. Both front and rear seats, I should say, but we got upper and lower back seats. Tons of trims, miscellaneous plastics, all the goods. We've got about a 4-hour trek ahead of us. Put us there maybe 12:30, I think. I was supposed to be there 11:30 to 12, but I feel bad. I had to wash my car first. There's no sense in me going up here with a hoopty, crappy, nasty car, I should say. Forgot to mention, I actually did hook up my external tip sensor. So instead of it saying a -124, now it actually tells us what it is. Sorry guys, I know the clip's dark. We just left Mike's, just went and helped him install some of the interior and a Z, did a few things. Stay tuned for his video, you'll see us in it. Say hey. We've got about 4 hours ahead of us, and currently here, it's almost 9 o'clock. There's at least an hour time difference between me and here, so in reality, it's 10 o'clock at home. I'm not even kidding right now. There is a Lamborghini in front of me. What the heck is going on right now? It's a turbo Lambo at that. What? That is a turbo Gallardo. That is literally my favorite Lamborghini to date. And he gave me a thumbs up. That's the best part. For us getting gas, never fails, go get gas and the panhandlers attack. Alright guys, so I think the first thing we're going to do today in regards to our Z is pretty much swap our radiator. Reason being, last night we had a leak that we sprung, I guess, which I don't know, is super strange. It just happens on this one trip. Here, found another radiator. I just drilled out the little pilot holes on the side so I could put these screws in, because I guess this isn't an OEM radiator and it doesn't come with the mounting points for the radiator shroud. Luckily we have plenty of water because Mike hooked us up yesterday, so we're going to go ahead and actually convert from antifreeze to distilled water just for the ease of everything. I'll remember to switch it back to antifreeze when we go back to the cold times of the year, but for now we're just going to run distilled water. It's cheaper and I hate having to recollect it and filter it to reuse it. So I think we should have plenty here. I'm just going to drain it from the bottom. I'm just going to pop the lower hose off, so that'll drain all the coolant. I won't have to worry about snaking that in. I'll just take this hose off of this, remove this radiator bracket, and we'll pull the radiator straight out so we can put this one straight in, and then we can wiggle maybe from back here to reach down and pop that hose on. All this just to make it easier around the fan shroud. Let's see how low we are today. Yep, can't even see it in there. About what I expected. Are you kidding me? I just broke that spring clamp. How does that even happen? Never in my life. What? Broke that secondary side off. Out with the old, in with the old. Just kidding. It is pretty old though. I just remembered we got to take these little brackets out, the L brackets they have made for a twin turbo radiator swap. There we go. I just remembered my dumb self forgot to grab the butterfly drain plug, so now we're gonna go see if we can find one and get this installed. Drain plug required. Just like a glove. We're gonna have to drill out these brackets on the side so we can actually mount them from the right side to use the factory brackets. It's unfortunate, but whoever did this before either just stripped the bolts in, broke them, removing them. Now our radiator's in, ready to be filled up. Before we do that, I've got a couple smaller pieces that I forgot I had until I just checked looking for one. A nice little finishing touch. Brand new hood prop clip. Not only that, you see this nasty little boot? I guess it's got a C-clip. C-clip is on. Let's throw this in the trash. Now it's time to bleed it. Gonna go ahead, park it on the hill on the downside. We're gonna jack the front side up to get the front end of the car as high as we can. And let's burp this system. So to bleed your coolant, right here we've got our defrost on. We've got our temperature all the way up, and we've got our fan speed all the way up. You want to do that when your car is warm, which usually I wait a couple minutes after your gauge says halfway, because halfway is operating temperature almost. You'll go to halfway at 100 degrees. It's a stepper gauge. It's not really accurate. It doesn't read accurately. It reads generally. I'm gonna lift the front of your car at an incline so you can try to make your radiator cap the highest point in your coolant system. You'll squeeze your upper hose and you'll force all the bubbles out. And also you can rev it to circulate the coolant through the motor and potentially push one of them air bubbles or air pockets through the casting in your heads and whatnot outwards to the radiator, so that way you can burp and eliminate all of that air in the system. Now it's really just a waiting game. So we've been driving for about 10 minutes now after we bled the car for about, what, 30? It may have been 40 minutes. I felt like we sat there forever. But car's running good. I have zero smell of coolant, zero sweetness, even than what I had to begin with. So that's a major plus. Real test is going to be after we get to grab our food. Is we're going to see if the plenum is still way too hot to the touch. Which yesterday at Mike's, when I got there and noticed I had a leak, I touched the engine. Engine is way hotter than normal, like obviously, but then I touched the radiator and the radiator's like cool to the touch, so that's instantly a problem. Made it to Big Boy. Time to get my favorite dinner and check our coolant. Well, I couldn't wait to start eating. I ended up getting the wrong one and they shorted me my fries, so it's been a little bit of a hold up. This is supposed to be like a spicy sauce, spicy tartar sauce, but it's actually nice change of pace. Let's go check out under our hood and see if we've got any apparent leaks or moisture anywhere from our potential leaky coolant. I mean, manifold's hot, but it's not as hot as it was yesterday. That's a plus. I don't see any water anywhere, any moisture. That is just residue, so I think she's fixed. Here's the black S13 that's been sitting there for years. I really need to go ask him about it. I say that every time I pass it though. Well, it's the next day, guys, and unfortunately I think this is going to be it for this video. We're going to call it here, mainly because today I thought we was going to have a clear day and it's supposed to be rainy. We was going to go to that car show, but I was just informed that a good friend of mine from high school, his funeral and viewing is going to be today and tomorrow. So instead of me having to rush to make it to Chicago and back, we're probably just going to hold out on this one so we can make this, because this is pretty important to me. So that being said, don't worry, we are going to make some car shows. We're going to we're going to change how we do some things. We're going to start getting out there, get the Z out there, and, you know, be a little more social, because I know I need it. Pretty much our video is just about the Ganadors. I've had them for months, and I've really just been waiting to put them on. I absolutely love them. They make the car. I'm more than happy that I spent the overpriced amount for them. Don't forget, check us out over on Mike's channel. He's going to have a video up. If you guys like the video, don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe down below, and stay tuned for our next one. We'll catch you then. Peace.